Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TC Talk, back today with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going over the Dusk Till Dawn previews and some of the leaks and spoilers that James White gave out this weekend at the Pro Tour, and just kind of go over the details if you may have missed them. It's really exciting stuff. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe down below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. Feel free to check out the Discord down below. We have a really good community, over like 300 members at this point, 400 members, going really strong. And if you're a long-standing member of the channel and you want to maybe support the channel in a different way, feel free to check out the Patreon so you can see my videos a little bit early. But yeah, Dusk Till Dawn. It's something that has been revealed earlier, but this weekend at the Pro Tour, James White gave a little bit more information on the set as a whole and kind of some things that we can expect and some really exciting news. So we'll get right into that. Most of it is on this page, but there's a couple little things that I'll just kind of like summarize and make it easy for you that I think are really key points. So without reading it all, Dusk, it goes through this whole narrative of how Dusk consumes the day, the monasteries, shadow hordes tear through the dimensional rift, hell-bent on the destruction of Solana. So the whole lore side of this is that the monastery is going against Solana, and they're trying to quench the light of Sol and basically put the world into a shadow of darkness. It was War of the Monarch. For anyone that's not aware, Monarch was a set that came out earlier in Flesh and Blood's history. If you're not here by the time that set came out, which had Chain, which is now Living Legend status, as well as Prism, and a couple other heroes, Levia and Bolton were the other ones as well. So 2 Shadow Runeblade heroes and 2 light-based heroes, a Light Warrior and a Light Illusionist-based hero. And it was a really beloved set, a set that had a lot of implications on the meta, right? Arguably the most powerful set when you come to heroes, with Prism and Chain both being Living Legend status already. It's actually really funny how topsy-turvy that set was, because you had Chain and Prism on one side and then Levia and Bolton on the other side. Rip. But at any rate, this is kind of part 2 of that. So that was started the War of the Monarch in the lore, and this is kind of like the continuation of it, or part 2 of it. So Dusk Till Dawn is a 10-card booster pack set that returns the epic War of Monarch conflict between light and shadow, and with it sees the return of fan-favorite Light Illusionist and Shadow Runeblade heroes. So this is kind of where James White started talking about it in his presentation. It was on the stream during the day 2, so if you go back, I'm not going to play it here because it's like a 5-10 minute presentation, like a 10-minute presentation. But if you go back in the day 2 VODs on the Star City Games Twitch channel, you'll see it. It's like a quarter of the way through. It's in between 2 matches. You're going to have to like parse through to find it. But basically, they let people see the presentation. And James White talked about how this is the 10th milestone of Flesh and Blood. It's a really big deal to them, really momentous occasion, and they wanted to make it special. Dusk Till Dawn overall features the most magnificent marvels yet. So marvels will be in the set, returns the first ever hero from Living Legend, and honors the original Light and Shadow Living Legend heroes with a 10-card serialized set of hand-drawn artist sketch cold foil hero cards for each Prism and Chain. So basically, in North America, it's North America, Brazil, and Europe, I believe, there's going to be 10 each, that's it, 10 serialized Prisms and 10 serialized Chains that are hand-drawn in cold foil. So they're going to be the ultimate chase cards. So like when you get one, it's 1 of 10, right? It's a very high chase card, and it's something super special that they're doing. And it's the first time Flesh and Blood has put in serialized cards. We've seen serialized cards in other TCGs, like Magic just did it, right, with March the Machine. There's serialized cards in that set, as well as like other sets in general. This is the first time Flesh and Blood has done it, and it's a really big deal, so you can kind of see like some of the more emphasis they're putting on this set. They ended up playing this video here, which showed Prism Advent of Thrones, this is the young version, at 16 health, which is pretty nuts. 16 health is pretty low. It's going to be interesting to see what her ability is. I'm a little bit scared. I'm not a Prism hater. I didn't like Prism particularly, not because I didn't like the hero itself, but I didn't like Luminaris and Spectre. Prism by herself with all of her, like with her innate ability, and then, some of her different, not angels, but some of her different cards really weren't that big of a deal. It was what Spectre's kind of synergy with Luminaris create a negative play experience. But the hero itself was fine. So it's going to be interesting to see what Prism Advent of Thrones does. But then they revealed the next Shadow Runeblade hero, Vincent. Vincent is a 20 life young hero. I'm assuming there's going to potentially be an adult version, but they didn't put a I don't know exactly what this means, but they didn't put like a name after it, like how Prism is Advent of Thrones. Vincent's just Vincent. Let me know in the comments what that particularly means. Maybe it's just going to be a young hero. Not really sure. But they did confirm down here that we are going to be getting a new adult version of Prism in Classic Constructed. Prism is one of the most loved and iconic heroes to ever exist in Flesh and Blood, and she becomes the first hero to return to Classic Constructed after obtaining Living Legend status. They also talk about how Chain will not be coming back, at least currently. It literally says, ever since Classic Constructed has been devoid of the Dark Arcana Shadow Runeblade, although Chain remains confined to Living Legends, to Realm of Living Legends, his teachings are not. So Vincent's kind of like the next iteration of Chain. So it'll be really interesting to see what Vincent can do, but we are confirmed getting Prism back as an adult and a young hero, just with different abilities and such. And then they also showed one of the Marvels. This is one of the allies, the Light Angel ally, Balana, Archangel of War. It's a once per turn action, costs 2 to attack. When Balana attacks, you may banish a card from your hero's soul. If you do, put a +1 counter on each angel you control, and it has Ward 4. If your hero be dealt damage, destroy this to prevent that damage, right? So you can't really be dealt damage at all, or else Balana goes away. However, this seems really cool, and this is the first one of 10 Marvels it's released. Going to the product sheet, it says that there's going to be 1 Fabled, there's going to be 8 Legendaries, which is insane, right? 5 has kind of like been the main one for the most part, 5 to 6 or 4 to 6. So 8 Legendaries is very significant, and there's going to be 10 Marvels. So this is 1 out of 10 of the Marvels. I personally think it says right here, if you do put a +1 counter on each angel you control, I think that the angels are probably going to be the Marvels, similar to how Jeremiah's dragons were the Marvels in the other set. I think you could see a lot of the angels get their own Marvel possibly, but that's just a random prediction. I'm not really sure. But we are getting all of those. And it talks about the pre-release event. So this is one of the things James White talked about in the big points that James White talked about in his presentation was, one, this is part 2 on the War of the Monarch for the lore. The pandemic really hurt Monarch draft and events for Monarch draft. So at your pre-release July 7th through 9th, as well as at your national championships starting August 25th, there will be Monarch Booster Draft as a part of it. So in your pre-release for Dusk Till Dawn, you'll be playing on Monarch Booster Draft, and you'll still get Dusk Till Dawn packs in your pre-release for winning and for participating, but you're going to be playing on the original Monarch draft set because a lot of people didn't get to enjoy it the way they wanted to because of the pandemic. So that's a big thing James White talked about. It also will be a part of the national championships, so it's going to be really cool to see people draft an old set for the national championships. That's really, really cool. But in your pre-release July 7th through 9th, you'll be getting Dusk Till Dawn prize packs for your wins and for your participation. They'll also be giving away cold foil Prism Advent of Thrones and Vincent cold foils. And there's going to be 32 extended arts per store, which means each store is going to get a 32-player kit. So it looks like they are going to be capping the pre-releases based off what I'm seeing. There might be some stores that get 2 kits. I know this past in Outsiders, some people were complaining, some stores were complaining that they only got 1 kit and they had more players than like the kit allotted for, but that was for 16. Like I know our store that we play in Texas only got 1 kit originally, and we had like 20, 30 people on the waiting list, and we ended up getting a second kit, thank goodness, so we could run a 32-person event. But I think for this, it's good that the base is 32. I don't know if they'll allow people to have 2 kits if they can know they're going to be able to support 64 players, but regardless, being up to 32 per store is nice. Like I said, there's going to be 10 Marvels in this set, and there's going to be 8 Legendaries. And War of the Monarchs starts July 7th through 9th at your pre-release the week before it comes out. They also have the Solana and the Monastery artwork here, which is really cool. But yeah, National starts August 25th. The World Championship is going to be in Europe, which is really cool. And then the serialized cards. So overall, super excited for this set. Obviously, with my background with Katsu, Ninja, and with some Assassin and Ranger. It's not really a crazy set for me, but it is a supplemental set. So you'll be getting some cards hopefully for your favorite class, and just overall this is really cool. And I like how they're incorporating draft from an old set into a new thing, because it gives a little bit more meat to the supplemental set. Gives people a little bit more reason to buy in, maybe even if they don't kind of affiliate with some of the heroes being a part of it. But yeah, overall, I'm super excited about it. I'm really happy to see where this goes. I want to read more into the lore. I need to get more into the lore. I know there's a couple websites, especially even in the creator list that I gave of people who are talking about the lore. I need to read more into it because it's really, really cool. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Let me know what you're most excited for the Dusk Till Dawn set. I'm super excited. Overall, the Shadow Rune Blade's really cool. I ended up selling my Carrion Husk a while back. I might have to get another one if the set seems cool enough. That Carrion Husk is probably going to go way up in price. It's going to be pretty nutty. I actually, on the fly, because we're a professional freaking... It's a little bit zoomed in, but let's just see if... I'm just going to see if Carrion Husk has gone up at all. Yeah, it's at $200. Yep, let's look at this. This is funny. From April 24th, 6 days ago, it was sitting at about $122 for unlimited edition rainbow foil. It's now sitting at about $155. The cold foil was $176. It's now $212. This card might end up being like $250 before it's all said and done. You look at the sales history. I mean, literally 3 days ago, this card was selling for $150 at rainbow foil. Now it's selling for $210, going up $60. So it's crazy what this set's going to do for some of the market. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what type of videos you want to see, how I can do better for the channel. I'm going to keep pumping out content. I told y'all I'm back for this month, I promise. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time on TC Talk. Thank y'all so much. Have a good night.